What is going on, guys? Back with another video. So I just want to start off by talking about how crazy this cycle's been. And the thing with crypto, the thing with life in general, when you think something's going to go as planned, something's going to go as you predict, it never does, always does the opposite. But what we can do in this instance is take a bit of a step back. I know it's depressing. I know this past few months has felt like years. It's just dragging. Every single day is dragging. When the market's good, everyone's happy, everyone's feeling good. And when the market's down, when the market is like this, everyone is depressed. And, it's normal to go through these feelings, guys. But what you need to understand is how many factors have we seen, since the end of, 2021 bull run. We've seen so much news, we've seen so much chaos in relation to the world, in relation to the market, and it still stands. Crypto still stands, and we've got a situation now where we've seen the most adoption that we've ever seen, and it's not slowing down. I know all the attention is on Bitcoin currently. Ethereum's dead, it's not doing anything. In the back, behind the scenes, the big players are buying huge amounts of Ethereum, huge amounts of huge altcoins like Chainlink, and also the likes of SEI, right? Why are they doing this? These people control the world, they control the markets. They are going to be buying, billions, hundreds of millions of dollars of these assets if they are going to go nowhere, right? So today I want to talk about SEI. I want to talk about whether or not I think 10,000 tokens are enough, and where I think it can go in the future. So make sure you stick to the end where I give you sort of my own personal opinion. Um, but ultimately, guys, the main thing is don't get shaken out now. I'm seeing people selling their bags at all-time lows, which doesn't make any sense. I understand if you need the money ASAP, but if you can wait until everyone was saying quarter three 2025, which it does look like that is a potential for being a peak for when we really do see a peak all season. See these months currently as an opportunity to accumulate to DCA, and if you don't have money on the side, then just sit back, guys. Just take a bit of time out of the market and come back, and things will be different. You just have to have that patience, and God willing, we will see those gains that we are waiting for. So anyway, guys, let's get into SEI. So you can see, over the past sort of 24 hours, it has gone on a nice, well, this is the stage of the market we call 13%, and we get excited over 13%. But, again, they are developing, they're doing a good job. Still on a very, very good discount, guys. This was, over $1. And, to accumulate 10,000 SEI tokens, that would set you back $10,000. And you're now getting it at a massive discount. So if we have a look at SEI, if we have a look at the chain, you can see, the growth. This is a new project. It's less than 2 years old. I think it's 1.5 years. We've seen the growth in terms of the ecosystem, in terms of the volume, the TVL. So you can see in around sort of March, early March, this was around $20 million in TVL, and it peaked at around 260 million, and it has pulled back to around 200 million, which is still done a 10x. So we've seen a 10x in terms of the value locked over the past year. Of course, when you compare this to the bigger chains, Solana, Sui, Base, Binance, it's not going to compete with them just yet, but you're still very early to this project, in my opinion. And as I've said, I'm not going to go into too much depth on this. I've made a previous video, but layer ones, everyone is sort of, no one's interested in layer ones currently. The whole narrative, of course, we all know, was in meme coins, in AI, and we've seen now sort of interest within real assets. What you need to understand, guys, is these chains, these layer ones, are the projects that are going to power all of these RWA projects, these AI projects, these gaming projects, these memes. You need a solid chain to build on, and SEI is a very, very good chain, very good option for developers, very fast, 380 milliseconds, good transactions per second, and it's also very cheap. And another sort of important factor, I class it as an important factor, does have its cons as well. The backers behind this, it's got huge backers, the likes of Circle Ventures, Delphi Digital, Multicoin Capital, and you've got Coinbase as well. So of course, guys, these people are early investors, they're up massive amounts, but you can take that as advantage as well, because these people want to make as much money as possible. They don't want to be selling now when there's so much more room for growth in a project like SEI. So, you can see here very fast, 390 milliseconds block finality, very secure as well, which is really important for a chain. And you can see here also other factors to it: secure, battle tested architecture for security, which is important for, all these projects who want to build. They want to make sure the chain is secure. It's not going to be vulnerable to hacks and, liquidity drains. And also, which is important as well, is the fact of their, overall sort of ecosystem and how it compares to some of the competition, right? So when you compare Psi to something like Ethereum, well, obviously Ethereum isn't really a good, um, Ethereum is pretty much the slowest of them all, 15 transactions per second compared to 12 and a half transactions, 12,500 transactions per second. Even the likes of Solana, it's faster than, it's, cheaper than as well. And you can see, they've got a good sort of, what do you call it? A good incentive for developers to build on Psi. So, why do people want to build on it? So you can see here, collaborative blockchain development fosters a collaborative space where developers, innovators can come together, advancing decentralized applications, and something which is really important, and financial solutions, right? So, to be a blockchain of finance, you think of something like Injective. Psi also has a sort of a real use case within finance, for financial institutes, for also asset management as well, which is really going to be big in the future. If this can get on board as, a chain which can attract, RWA, it will really perform well. It will be just another factor to really, push the growth of Psi. You can see here also, developer support, advanced tools, resources, big community engagement, growth. I think they've got like a developers chat where all the developers can basically get together to discuss ideas. So it's really important, to grow as an ecosystem, to grow as a community, because that is what is going to push, this project in the long run. So other things as well, you've got here strategic ecosystem alliances, forges strategic alliances within different industries, tech, which is basically going to help to improve, the overall experience. And also, a little side note here, its commitment to sustainability, being, eco-friendly, and having sort of, minimal carbon sort of footprint. So that's all important. Again, for some developers, they want to, use a chain which is going to have some aspect to being, eco-friendly. So yeah, first impressions very positive. They've come into the space, very high quality website, very clear with what they want to do in relation to growing, this chain, growing this ecosystem, fast security, and also being, eco-friendly. So again, if you look at the ecosystem that they've developed, very good ecosystem for such an early stage project. Different categories here, of course. Some of these are their integrations, their partnerships. So you've got AI here as well. We all know how important AI is going to be, AI agents, and there is an incentive for a lot of these, projects to, build on Psi. You've also got DeFi, which is very, very important. You take their biggest DEX, which is DragonSwap, I believe, and you can see, you're still very early to this. You look at the TVL on DragonSwap, it's still under 25 million. So still very early days for Psi overall. And once a chain does well and there's hype around it, the DEXs, the DeFi protocols are always the projects to pay close attention. Think of, something like Aerodrome, think of the likes of Radium, Jupiter on Solana, Uniswap, PancakeSwap. These are the main sort of, this is where people are going to basically buy a lot of these projects. A lot of the volume is going to flow through these DEXs. So it's always important to have that sort of, main decentralized exchange. Of course, again, a big incentive is going to be the fees they generate, which is still at the early stages. And you can see that as a potential opportunity to, get in early. And then something which I'm very bullish on is this aspect, Psi, how they're looking to, onboard financial institutions. You can see here, Psi opens up a world of possibilities for financial institutions, offering a blockchain platform that combines the speed and security. So different use cases here. You can see here, what can these institutions do on Psi? They can innovate different financial products, for trading, financial instruments, derivatives, anything you can think of. Also, robust asset management within RWA, using Psi's powerful infrastructure for high-level asset management. That is also going to be something to pay attention to in, the future. Diverse application development, of course, with DeFi, trading, yield, lending, and also here, enhanced data security. They've got obviously that importance on security, which is going to attract these developers to build on Psi overall. So very good aspect to it as well. Just opens up a huge, huge floodgate for, huge amounts of money to flow into this project. And again, what is really important is the community, very big community, consistent updates. You can see here, the team here doing different sort of interviews, AMAs, and something as well which is really important is this. Their builder fund round one, $750,000, which is basically going to support builders to build different projects on SEI, basically looking to diversify the whole ecosystem with different projects, DeFi, AI, gaming, memes. And this is a very, very good incentive, which tells you they are serious about the long-term growth of this chain. So definitely something to pay attention to see what sort of new projects, new infrastructure is going to develop on SEI. And yeah, guys, overall, I think a very good pick. Also, of course, in terms of token utility, it's needed for the gas fees, staking, governance. So again, with a layer one, that token, that coin is going to be very important for the functioning of the overall ecosystem. And something, of course, some people sort of be like, well, this is a bad thing. The early investors, right? So I think early investors, around 20% of the supply is for early investors, which of course is not the best. But if you compare it to SUI, there's so many big projects which have got huge backers, huge investors on board, and the price continues to rally. We've seen what SUI did, guys. It went absolutely parabolic, and I really do believe that SEI is next up. So of course, fundraising, of course, early investors are up, big amounts, but on the likes of, Solana, on the likes of SUI, they are up, much more. So still early days, in my opinion. In terms of the vesting, we've got around, I think there's around 40 to 45% currently in circulation, and you have very, very small daily unlocks of under 6 million SEI tokens unlocked. So, very small when you understand, the 10 billion max supply, very small unlocks. So, it's not really going to have a major impact in terms of dilution, in my opinion. And, if you have a look at, it's fair to say a lot of people now are looking at quarter three for 2025, some people even looking at quarter four. So, if we take something like, October, November, according to Chainbroker, you have around 5.3 billion of the tokens in circulation. So again, very small dilution. According to sort of CoinGecko and also CryptoRank and other tracking websites, there's around 4.6 billion of the tokens currently in supply. So if there's 5.3 billion, again, that is very small. You're looking at something like under 20% dilution. So not bad at all. And yeah, let's get into where we can see this going in terms of how much 10,000 tokens is going to be worth. So currently 10,000 SEI tokens is going to set you back around $2,500, which is very, very reasonable in my opinion. Considering it would set you over $10,000 just, pretty much in 2024. So you're getting it on a massive, massive discount. Of course, DCA guys, I'm not telling you to buy all at one go, but let's see where I think this project can go. So 1.2 billion in terms of the current market cap. As I've said, guys, I think a 10 to 15x is definitely possible. If we look at something like 15 billion, where we've had the likes of SUI, we've had the likes of so many other layer ones smash through that mark. I do really think very possible for SEI, and it could even go to 20 billion. So again, if you look at that 10,000 SEI, current worth 2,500. If it was to go to 15 billion market cap, you were looking at $32.2 thousand. Of course, none of this is financial advice, guys. That would be around 12x, which you might be thinking, well, I want more gains than that. If you want more gains than that, guys, then go for your lower caps. I do think this is a very good buy, guys. And me personally, I'm continuing to DC into SEI. Huge conviction in this. A good trading volume, and ultimately I think it ticks all the boxes. There's no major red flags. The only thing is the early investors, but for me that isn't too much of a concern, because we've seen previously other projects with bigger amounts of investors, who've got a bigger share of the supply, and it hasn't done anything to crash the price. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this video on SEI. Let me know your price predictions for this as well, and let me know your thoughts on the overall project. And please don't forget to subscribe and also drop a like if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you very soon for the next video.